Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Pure Baws, the football podcast. On this instalment, we have former Johnstone Burgh manager Jamie McKim, Kilwinning manager Chris Aitken, or as he's more affectionately known as, Tiff, and we have current Drumchapel United manager Adam Hopes, who we all know as Hopey. Lads, how are we doing?
Very well. Good to be here.
Jamie, good. Yep. Before cracking on with the show, I need to give a shout out to our two sponsors. First, Peter Donnelly, 1-to-1 coaching. For me, the absolute best in the business. Looks after kids and adults alike. If you're interested in some 1-to-1 coaching, we will pop his Instagram details on down the bottom somewhere during the podcast. And also a huge shout out to Lawrence Cusack at St Cadoc's Youth Club, who is a massive friend of mine, supports everything that I do, and is basically paying for this episode. So thanks very much, mate. So on with the podcast, and I suppose the right place to start would be with yourself, Jamie. Obviously, we're all absolutely gutted for you, mate. It's probably been a whirlwind last 3 or 4 days for you, mate. Talk us through it.
It's been a tough few days. Obviously disappointed. I didn't want to leave the club. I was sad with the news, but listen, it's something I'm going to have to deal with, and it's football at the end of the day. So just a bit, it's difficult to take after being there for so long and the manner that it's happened. I just probably expected a wee bit better in terms of the loyalty and a wee bit more. But listen, as I said, that's football, and it's the nature of where Johnstone Burgh are going.
Jamie, social media, it's a fickle old place. It's something that I look at all the time, especially with the West of Scotland stuff, because it's the level of football I love. Over the past 6 or 8 weeks, I've scrolled through with real interest and seen calls for you to be sacked, to be let go, for you to step aside. But in the same breath, I've seen the same people question why you're not managing the club, which is absolutely mental, especially at a time where you're just about to take on a 2-legged Scottish Junior Cup semi-final. What's your thoughts on that?
See, to be fair, so I think these guys will say, see, when you're involved, the social media can be a tough place if you want to go and have a look and you want to look at it, especially when you get beat.
Jamie, do you look at social media? Is it something?
Try not. I'm not a Facebook man. I'm a Twitter guy.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at. But you try and stay away if you're getting beat or whatever. If you're not doing well. What I will say is I've looked the last couple of days. Cause I get a lot of nice messages after I left.
There's a lot of nice messages on social media
there
as
is,
well, mate.
And that's what I'm saying. I had a look after it just in terms of, and I had a look basically, see when we were in the wee sticky run we had there the last 4 or 5 weeks, I hadn't been looking. And then I looked back for that period of time, and I know what you're saying. I've seen quite a lot of that myself. But I looked into it, and there's also a lot. I think I looked at some of the comments, and you're seeing people feel like Stonehaven and Livingston, and I'm like, you see, if you listen to things like that, I think you drive yourself mental. And I think when you're involved in football, I think you need to be really careful in whose opinions you listen to. Because everybody's got them essentially, and it's not always people who are watching your team or anything like that. I think you've got to be really, really careful in terms of that, just for your mental state and your focus on your team, and not let people affect you too much. So it's one of the things that I have had a look the last few days, just in terms of, because it's an emotional time for me. Yeah. Obviously, I've been there a long time, and I've given a lot of time, a lot of my life to it. So it's one of the things. See, you know what it's like. People will be saying 1 minute he's the worst manager in the world, the next he's the best. People that will be, you're brilliant after qualifying for the semi-finals, which will be tough to miss. That'll be a tough part of it, but then a couple of weeks later he'll be getting at the door. But listen, that's just the nature of football, and it's also the nature, especially in the West of Scotland, I think, as we all know.
You're spot on, because obviously being involved at Drumchapel United, Drumchapel United social media is outstanding at times. You know, a lot of our clout comes from Facebook. Hopey, you'd probably agree with that. We don't really get many, although we've got a good following on Twitter, we don't really get much clout on Twitter at all. It's all Facebook. And we had a sticky patch back sort of October, November, and you know, there's guys on suggesting that Hopey and JB should open up the pub and have a Q&A and have one guy actually suggested that he should have a say in the team selection. It's absolutely wild, you know, like you said there, social media has just became absolutely crazy. Like somebody requesting to have an opinion on the team selection, and I think, and we'll touch on it later on, the decision to let Jack Breen go was greeted with jeers, and Jack Breen's an excellent player and did well for Drumchapel, but we've kicked on since Jack's left, you know, so opinions are opinions. You like you says, you either take them on board or you disregard them.
We actually spoke about the Jack Breen call just as we were standing at the door coming in there, and I said to Hopey, I think it was a really good deal for him essentially if Jack was going to move on in the summer, because with Pierce coming in, I've watched Pierce McGarvey quite a few times this year, as I said to you, and I think he's fantastic. Really, really good player, and I think he's made a positive influence.
I think we discussed it maybe at one of the games as well. Obviously, I know Pierce through St Cadoc's and that, and no disrespect to Doyley. I couldn't believe that he'd sent him on loan to Blantyre, and at a time where St Cadoc's were maybe toiling a little bit. We've signed a boy, Liam McLaughlin, actually, Squiddy's brother, when we've got a boy in loan at Blantyre who has came back and made a huge impact. So I think you're spot on. I think the deal to bring Piro in has been an excellent one.
I think the difference, particularly this year, he's improved a lot. He's running power, he's really technically really good. I think it'll be a massive signing for Drum.
Hope am I right in saying that you were looking at him for next season?
Yep.
And it's just
I'd actually forgot that it was a St Cadoc's player. I just thought he was at Petershill. And everything with Jack was moving so fast. And obviously I spoke to Martin, and obviously he confirmed that he was a St Cadoc's player, and we managed to get something done. But Piro's been... Listen, Jack had his eyes on other things, and it's in his best interest, and our best interest that he moves on, and that's what's happened, and it's fine. There's no bad blood between myself or Jack or anything like that. And then, as you say, fans... Football's nothing but fans, but I think sometimes fans need to just breathe a wee bit and maybe read over their comments before they start going in. Because listen, I know hundreds of people that are mad on social media, and they don't see if they were to actually read back things that they're typing and then go, that doesn't sound too great, and then maybe put a bit more sense into it, then it would make more sense to us.
Aye, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? But people just nowadays, the world's ran by social media, and they just go for the throat without even thinking about it.
I think the problem for us this year is the amount of different people that we attracted in terms of social, and even to games, because of the signings we made. The profile of the club became a lot bigger, the expectation becomes bigger. But the reality is, like, I expected runs where we didn't go and win every single game, and we did have wee poor games, and that effectively came. And it was a decision, actually. See, when we made the moves to bring the likes of Blair Rossiter, Dan Christie, Conor McGlinchey, that's all we one eye to help us this year. But then I think that's top players that will help you when you go into the next division. And I still fully believe Johnstone Burgh will do that. But I also said to the club when we were doing it, this is going to bring a wee bit of disruption, and it will take a wee bit of time for the guys to settle, like we've seen at the start of the season.
When I covered the Drumchapel Johnstone Burgh game at the beginning, I interviewed both of you, and I said it's a game that should have probably been further down the line, because both teams were being touted for promotion sort of pre-season, along with Kilwinning as well. There was 5 or 6 teams that were being touted at that point. You said to me, it's like having a brand new team. Now, that's so difficult to... It doesn't matter if you played SBFL level or West of Scotland, East of Scotland, whatever it may be. 16 new boys in a football team isn't easy. And looking back and looking at your fixtures, you've been unlucky with injuries. Kyle Lafferty obviously been one of your the big profile signing, got injured on that game and hasn't been seen since. I think Dell struggled a wee bit as well. Graham struggled a wee bit. These are players that have got good clout, and I think you've been unlucky with injuries. Would you say that's added to the issue?
Injuries has been an issue. It has been, I think, for the majority of the season, both my fullbacks have been injured. That's been a big problem. The last 3 or 4 games, Gary McCann played at left back, and by the way, Gary McCann's been fantastic at left back. But for me, although Lars been injured and missing for a while, the biggest miss in my team has been Dale Esplin. Honestly, I think as I said to you outside,
you did.
When Dale first came in, I made the captain straight away because I seen his qualities, I knew his qualities. And that's when he got injured, that's when our form started to dip. That's when the issues started to come. We played the 3 games in a week. I think we played Whitlets, then we played you boys on the Wednesday night, and then Dale got injured on Saturday at the Rock. We managed to win that game, and that was the 3 in the week that managed to put us right up there.
Yep.
But we lost him. It was really difficult. I thought he protected the 2 centre backs allowed us a kind of base to go and attack teams. But when we lost him, it made a huge impact on it. But especially now, I think the big bonus for the club going into the next couple of weeks is Dale will be back, Laugh will be back. He's doing it at St George's Park this week, getting treatment to get up to speed. And the two fullbacks are back this week, so Johnstone Burgh for me will be back to full strength in the next fortnight. And trust me, I know for a fact they'll be difficult to stop at that point.
Is that frustrating for you?
Massively.
Knowing that, Jamie, because you basically stated there that, you know, you struggled up until a point, maybe. I may have got my research wrong, but I'm 100% sure. A win with 90 minutes last game, mid-January, and then obviously the penalty win against St Cadoc's. Is that not frustrating for you, knowing that you've just said that Johnstone Burgh will be a massive force, not being given the time to kind of try and go and scale the league for the rest of the season?
It's a frustration, not to be part of it, because especially when you sign a new contract 6 weeks ago, you're thinking you're a bit more confident and comfortable in terms of taking the risks that you're bringing other boys in and trying to blood it in. The view that I took when we signed the likes of Dan Christie, Blair, Connor, as I said, was if we'd done all this again in the summer, it would take you longer next year for the team to settle in a tougher league. I'm not saying, but this league is obviously very tough and I wasn't treated lightly but you're continually trying to improve and progress and develop the team. But again, I've probably paid for that risk and should have maybe not taken it, but I think the club will pay for that. The club will not pay for it, sorry. The club will have the benefit of that long term. But I do think after the last two performances have been a lot better. Although there've been defeats, you can't hide for that. I thought they were better last week, better on Saturday. And I thought with the boys coming back in this week, trust me, I think that Johnstone Burgh are going to do really, really well for the rest of the season. You
took over Johnstone Burgh six years ago with the club languishing at the bottom of what would have been probably the third division now, I think maybe.
There was 4 divisions at the time, so that would have been the third.
Yeah. If my memory serves me correctly,
was it Division 2, I think? Was it Premier League Championship, Division 1, Division 2?
I think it may be Division 2 or Division 3, but you were languishing at the bottom.
The bottom league.
And you, if my memory serves me correctly, you had to forfeit a couple of games. You touched on there, do you feel disappointed that you've not been given the chance to see out the season, given that you've managed to take a Johnstone Burgh side 6 years ago, languishing at the bottom, sort of brought them up? I know COVID put a bit of spanner in the works, you get a promotion in there somewhere. You've seen crowds go from a man in his dug to 700-800 people. You've mentioned that you're hurting. Is it frustrating for you not to be given the chance to go and scale the rest of the season? I think, when we first came in, I think we were second bottom of the bottom division. Aye. And the club had just forfeited. This was before we came in, they forfeited the Scottish Cup tie. I thought there was a few. No, we've never forfeited a game. We never, we fielded the team every time. Right. But the first, I came in the January, and until the summer, I think we done all right until the summer. We kind of steadied the ship a wee bit and then we had a poor first season. Yep. We weren't great, but it was youth amateur players you're bringing in and trying to build a squad. And that season we weren't in the Junior Cup because we had forfeited the tie the season before. But for there, I think we've had steady progress every single year, and I didn't see this year finishing any differently. Aye. To be honest, like I'll tell you, before I left the club and now, I've always maintained that the club will go into Premier League. Yeah, I think it will happen. I think there's far too much quality in the dressing room. We just need to reset, focus, and be together, and they'll go up. I keep saying us. It's not us. It's them. The boys. It's a difficult lesson. I've been calling it us and that for 6 years, so it's difficult. But it's for myself, from a personal point of view. I'm hurting, as I said. I said that to you. It wouldn't be natural if I wasn't hurting. No, and of course. I think it wouldn't mean, if I wasn't hurting, it wouldn't have meant as much. You know, it shows you how much it does. So I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, I'm not going to be part of it. Obviously the two semi-finals would probably have been the biggest 2 games in terms of my managerial career so far, and they'll be tough ones when they come about. Yeah. But just to be clear, I want the boys to go and win them. I want them to go and be successful. I wish nothing but success to them. Are you planning on getting along to those games? Don't know yet. I think it's not a decision to be made now. By the way, so I've only been away for 3 days. Yeah. It's very, very raw. So my emotions have changed
from Sunday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Of course, mate.
So with that being a couple of weeks away, what I'll say is, at the time I'll obviously be thinking of how I feel myself, but also there's a group of boys there and people that I'm really close to that I want to do well. So if I think I can, I'll go and support.
Yeah. Well documented in the press, the Johnstone Burgh are going to have a bit of money this season. That told with the signings of Kyle Lafferty, Graham Dorns, who have both had experience and success in the SPFL, Kyle in the Champions League. Do people see that and just expect instant success? That can't be the case sometimes, but Kyle spent most of the season on the sidelines, and truth be told, like we said before, there was a real injury crisis at Johnstone Burgh. Can you expand a bit on that for us, mate?
I think he was really unfortunate. I think you can see in the first game he scores 2 goals, he comes in, he does well. And then in the second game when he gets injured, it's massively frustrating for everybody because he was a kind of talisman signing. Yep. For me, he was going to go and put the ball in the net every week. That's what we were hoping for. And then with the others run about him, we made some really good signings, but it's difficult. See, the first day we had a meeting at the Lyndhurst Hotel in Johnstone, the first time I brought the squad together after we'd signed everybody. And the first thing I said to everybody, listen, the signings you make and everything that's documented, the first thing it does is paint that big target right in your back.
Right.
And it'll make people raise their game for you when they come against you, because it's just natural. I've done it myself in terms of taking teams to play in previous years. The St Cadocks, even Hopey with Drumchapel as well. I know you always say to me, it's not that. But when we come, and I've used the same team talks myself, I've used the same motivations, so I know what the opposition are thinking when they come to play. So it makes it difficult. The league isn't easy, the surfaces aren't easy, and the one thing I think that we all know here, it's not all about the footballing ability all the time. It's about your heart, your desire, what you're willing to get in the pitch and beat your opponent. So it's been tough for us. It's really tough. The injuries have made it hard, but that's not an excuse. I think the strength of the squad and what we've had, we could have done a lot better. But at the same time, I think we're still in the semis. That's what I'm saying. We're still in the boys are still in the semis. Still in the run of the league. There's been a poor run, but there's more than enough in that dressing room to go and be successful.
Feel free to tell me to go off. Do you think some of the boys that have come in for a big payday and no realise that the quality? I still maintain that the First Division of the West of Scotland is probably one of the hardest leagues to get out of. And I think, and I'll get on to it with you, Tiff, shortly, when you look at the league now, there's potentially 9 teams maybe, that could go up. Do you think a lot of guys have just went, fuck, Johnstone Burgh got a bit of dough, let's just go for a payday and let's get good money and just fucking go and play football, and no realising that there is actual quality in that league and it isn't, and you've actually seen that it's harder than it looks?
I don't think as much as we say that, I don't think it's always the quality that causes you the problems. Sometimes it's the effort, the work rate of the other teams, the surfaces. There is good quality, but there's also real warriors and other teams there that will come and make it difficult for you. But I don't think that, obviously money plays a part, right? Yeah. It plays a part in every club, but I couldn't say that one of the guys have just came and went, they don't care. I've been in the dressing room with every one of them. I know it hurts them when we don't win. I know they care. So I wouldn't aim that at anybody, to be honest.
You were talking about a specific kind of team talk. Actually, I was flicking through social media the other day, and I had a real laugh. And I know DJ Ashfield had gone to Tiff, where I think Ashfield have basically just done your team talk. I don't know if Ben's maybe showed. Has Ben showed you yet the screenshot that I sent him? So the media guy at Ashfield's popped up. Ayrshire conquered, forgetting that you guys have to go to Stepford.
Still to play them.
So like, I think things like that, it's great as a media guy seeing that. I laugh and I think to myself, Tiff doesn't even need to go and do a fucking team talk now. He just needs to show that screenshot and that's the boys up for it. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a mad one on DJ's part, but it is what it is. It's been deleted, by the way.
Oh, is it?
And I don't even think you get a chance to screenshot it, and I never get a chance to see it. Did I send it to you?
No.
I just told you about it, didn't I?
It's one I've used a lot, by the way. It's like different things like that.
So you will listen. Managers will do that, like, because you'll flick through it.
The effect that has on younger players now is not as much as what it's had in previous years. I think it's Something like that, right, okay.
Did any of you get a chance to flick through Twitter before you come in, see Mick Kennedy's latest post?
I did actually. I've seen that.
The Martin Lofton thing. Do you know, like, so...
I've not seen it.
that nervous laugh there, Hopey. So, like, listen, you can chat about this a podcast, it is what it is, right? Martin's a great guy, I like Martin, but you find when a sort of goodish job or a job with some sort of... what's the right word for it? Interest in it. Martin pops this big long spiel out about how he's not going to apply for a job, which immediately states to me, please come and get me, right? That's kind of where I'm at with that, right? And I'm thinking to myself, nah, just don't do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Just let the... So I know exactly what it's aimed at the Johnstone Burgh thing, right? He's obviously... likes a team that have maybe got a bit of money, he can go and do a bit with it. And Martin's a great coach, great guy, but I'm just like, maybe not do that, because we all know what you're trying to do. Frustrating for you guys behind the scenes. The chairman or the board have maybe hit the panic button too soon, mate. There's no much longevity for a football manager these days, and I think you spoke to the Paisley Express and you made a point on Tucker. So Aken like Talbot, obviously, were looking like relegation candidates, which is unbelievable to say, around about October time. And now they look like genuine title contenders. I go back to that thing, it must be so frustrating, Jamie, to look at that, because you did make a point of saying that, and I think that's a massive point, because you signed a new contract 6 weeks ago and we're sitting here in a podcast studio in Wishaw, potentially looking at a new job next season or whatever. You know, it's not quite sunk in yet. Is that not frustrating for you, mate?
By the way, I wasn't comparing myself to Tucker. I was looking at the club and going, just to make that clear.
Tucker's incomparable.
Aye, I wasn't doing that. But I think the point I was trying to make was the stability at Aken like Talbot. And I think that's something when Johnstone Burgh have got the investment and the resources now that they've got, I think the most important part of that is now having a bit of that behind them. You need to go and have the stability and not be I think I'm not going to agree with that decision that was made, obviously. And I know you touched on there the committee and different people. For me, the committee didn't make this decision. So I've had, as I said to you, the chairman and stuff like that, I've spoke to me, and this isn't a decision that they made. So I'm comfortable with that. As I said, I can look at myself in the mirror and be happy with the job I've done. But again, it's just massively frustrating, and the change in 6 weeks.
Aye.
But listen, that's football. So in this industry, it happens at times. It doesn't make it any easier for on my part, but it's just so frustrating and disappointing. Something that I've not got down here, and something that I didn't say to you, I was going to ask, don't worry. Listen, I'm all right to answer, as I said. Do you think, you mentioned there that it wasn't a committee decision, it wasn't a chairman decision, so in my head it's an owner decision, right? I'm thinking the people who own the club and want to take the club forward have made that decision for you. As a Johnstone Burgh fan and somebody that loves the club, are you worried in any way that they, because they're so ambitious, that they'll maybe go and look at we've heard names like Kenny Miller and things like that. Is that the right way to go about appointing a manager for Johnstone Burgh, or do you need somebody that has got experience at this level of football? Because I think, personally, if Johnstone Burgh go down that route of appointing an ex-SPFL manager, this is just left field. I'm thinking maybe somebody like Martin Hornet, Bonnie Rose, who's just lost his job as well. I'm looking at that. That's somebody who's been there, done it, and went to the SPFL. I think Martin managed Bonnie Rose when they were in the second division at East of Scotland. Do you think Johnstone Burgh will go and pluck a big name manager? Is what I'm asking you. I hope not. I think, as I said about the stability part, I think it's really important to get somebody at the level, that knows the game. I gave them a recommendation that I felt that would be somebody that would be there to take on, because
you're not taking it.
As I said, I've put a lot of time into that club. So the last thing I want to see is it to go to pot now. I don't want it to go down and become something that's not going to last.
And there's a worry there, isn't there? Because we've seen it with Darvos, we've seen it.
I think there's always going to be a worry there.
Aye.
To be fair, I think that's what it's going to be, and I think it's going to take people at the club to go and really sit and go through and pick the right man. I think it's going to need somebody who really wants to be there for a start.
Aye.
Doesn't just want to be there because everything that's going to come with it, but somebody that's really want to buy into the future and what they see, rather than somebody just coming for a name. It's going to be somebody that wants to be at that club. Like I said, Jamie was there for a long time, so you can see the passion he's got for that.
Yep.
And I think that's what it's going to take if they want to go in this road that they're going to go.
And I think that's the worry, because for a week it'll appease fans. Fans will be buzzing to get a big name, but in reality,
It's silly.
In reality,
it's crazy, because see if any of us were to go to Championship or SPF Premier League, we'd be like a fish out of water. Let's not kid ourselves on.
and flipping it around, it's the exact same.
Speak
It's
for yourself,
exact
Hopey. Speak for yourself.
It's the exact same, in my opinion. Somebody big that's played in the top level of Scotland coming into Tier 7 to try and get them moving. They will get a reaction initially, right? But who do they know? Mm-hmm. So I mean, who do these people know? They don't know the people at this level. They've probably never watched any more than 10 games a non-league. Do you know what I mean? So I think I agree with you too.
It's a dealing that comes with it as well. That's the thing. You're dealing with a squad of players who all of a sudden are working every day. Their day-to-day life is different from what they're used to.
Different beast.
And all of a sudden they're not used to having the greatest facilities. I'm a wee bit fortunate where our facilities are really good, to be fair. So we get to have the gym and the sort of training pitches and that, which helps. But there's a lot at this level that you've not got that. So you're asking somebody who's used to come down, and then at the time it might be good, 3-4 weeks into it, that's when they might go, what have I done here? And then all of a sudden then you're back to square one all the time.
Aye.
I know.
See what you're saying. I think that's the most important part for Johnstone Burgh going forward with the investment, is that they need to get the facility right, because like going into the closing stages of the season, having the amount of games to play, if the
game is cancelled tonight as well, so it's another
Just don't know.
To be honest, that game was the reason I was coming here to keep the mind off it, and I was going on but
fair days, mate.
Just on that, Jamie, I spoke to you Saturday after the game, obviously, and we had spoke about it with another game off the night. You think the pile up and fixtures could be a testing time for them to, because I spoke to you Saturday and I said that to you. At the end of the day, it's still in Johnstone Burgh's hands here. They can still go up quite easily and they could still win that league.
Say they win. I said this to Hopey the other day there, because I experienced it last year when Doyle lost his job at St Cadoc's, and they put an interim team and the boys got a jag, won 5-1 and essentially went upright, where I know people will have their own opinion on that at a point where maybe St Cadoc's would have probably still been promoted, but they didn't want to take that chance. Actually, when you look at it, I've worked out points per games, right, and I think it's 59, 56 and 55 I've got going up, right? But when you look at Johnstone Burgh, if they get no offence, Jamie, if they get a kick off of that, if they get a knee-jerk reaction and they go and win, say, 9 games, 10 games, that's 30 points, which takes them to 60.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sitting here saying that, and you're
but
probably...
with the players coming back, that wouldn't surprise me. Like, I genuinely, this is something that I've said to the club, like have a look at what's coming up, have a look at the players coming back.
Yep.
Nobody else in the league has a Dale Espin coming back, Kyle Lafferty coming back, and the stability and the balance the two fullbacks give you within that. That's half your team, you know, and that's when you go into the 3 or 4 games a week. It's going to be a test, but it's also going to be a big part of it will be luck, because this is, as you can see now, it's not all about ability. Like we could go into, I keep saying Johnstone Burgh could go into these games and get other injuries and different injuries to more important players, so luck will play a big part.
Especially when you're going to places like the KG and St Roch's and Canby Rangers, where it's, you know, you don't know what sort of weather you're going to get.
And listen, as I said, if it was down to football ability alone, Johnstone Burgh will win the league. Yeah, that's without a doubt. No offence, boys.
I need to disagree.
Jamie, you mentioned that you've given your heart and soul to Johnstone Burgh for the last 6 or 7 years. It's probably a little too soon to ask you this, mate, but what does the future hold for Jamie McKim?
Immediately a break.
Yep.
And then when I'm ready, I'll listen, it's, as I said, it's my life, this is what I'm about and this is my passion, so I'll be looking to get back in at some point.
Take in a few Celtic games, mate.
Possibly.
You better get back in quick.
Jamie, listen, I know that was a toughie for you, mate, but thanks very much, mate, for coming in and chatting to us. Chris, how you doing, mate?
Very good, very well.
Tiff, you took over Kilwinning Rangers on the 10th of February 2023. At a time the club were really struggling for form, languishing in the relegation zone that season, ultimately ended in the club's relegation from the West of Scotland Premier. There was murmurs from fans at this level of football that you might see Kilwinning never return to the West of Scotland. Now, going back to that old social media thing, that's just people's opinions. Chat to me about your first year in charge of Kilwinning, mate.
First year's been very, very enjoyable. I think when I went in there and I went and spoke to the club, I spoke to them the first night I spoke to them, and when I left I had a wee bit of fire in my belly, to be fair. I felt as if it was the right club to try and get back in the game. Obviously everybody knew what sort of happened to East Kilbride, but it left a sour taste with me, but that's football, as Jamie just touched on there. So the year's been good. I've got to admit, I'm enjoying every minute, loving it. As I said, I've built good relationships in there. The biggest thing for me was when I spoke to the club and spoke to the board and the chairman, who I've got a really good relationship with, was that I had to get stuff to do it my way, sort of thing, and have so if you're going to fail, you want to fail, try to do what you believe is the right way.
Absolutely, mate.
And that was the biggest thing I wanted. I wanted to go and see, as I say, when I went and seen the facilities were great. And I felt, well, do you know what? We're going to give it a bash here and try and stay in the Premier League. But the club in that said, look, don't worry about it. Sometimes you've got to take a step back to go forward. And we felt that as a club together. That's what we thought. We had the games fast and furious. We were playing 3 games a week and it was just too much. It was too much. I had came in and it wasn't a happy dressing room. Players really didn't. You could see they weren't enjoying it, and that's a tough ask. The big ask is. Then one thing that I will try and say what I believe in, and my players will enjoy coming to the football club. That's one thing that I think I've got. People will say the training's good, facilities are good, and they're happy to come, because I touched on earlier, when you've got guys working 9 to 5 and they've got families and they're giving their time up to families to go on a Tuesday and a Thursday night down to Kilwinning every week, it's important as a club. You need to make that as enjoyable as you can, and that was the first thing I had to do. I had to get smiles back in people's faces and get them enjoying it.
You did do that. Although personally, I don't know about the club's finances. You hear things and you take what you want for that. Just how hard a rebuild was it at Kilwinning, mate?
I knew it was going to be big. As I say, I've had the backing for the club. Finances, listen, well, no, the one thing you'll get with me is honesty. The finance was going to be tough. We always do that. But it was important to me that I had got the right people behind me, i.e. like say Ian Durant. I think that was massive. Try to persuade him to come when it was a big thing. But he enjoyed working with me. He knew what it was about. And listen, when you've got a guy that's won 24 medals and gets the same enjoyment out of winning a Saturday doing it Kilwinning, tells you everything you need to know about him. So when the guys are sitting in my dressing room and see that, they feed off it. So that was the first thing that we had to go and get. At the end of the day, look, money's always a good thing to have, but it doesn't. You can't buy success. You've got to go and earn it. And I think now it's coming now. We a good bit away from where we want to be. Absolutely, but we knew it wasn't going to be a quick fix. It was going to be a long journey, and we're on that journey. We've got 5 games to go, and it's all to play for.
You mentioned about the journey. Your committee, your chairman, the people who look after the club, would they see this? Say for instance, if you weren't to go up, mate, would they see that as no being a success? Would that be hard for them? Because Kilwinning Rangers are a massive club in the West of Scotland.
Absolutely. Listen, they want the big games coming back to Buff Park. There's no getting away from that. And the way they're going to generate the revenue is getting the big teams back. we seen the crowd that we took up to the borough on Saturday it was phenomenal, and that's what they have. So again, it's my job to make sure I'm getting a winning team to go and do that. Now, whether the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks, we'll find out where we are. But with the victory in Saturday, we've gave ourselves a chance. And at the end of the day, as a manager, sitting here, that's what you want to do. You want to give yourself a chance with something to play for. So we've got that. And listen, you touched on it. There's about 9 teams that have got to play for. So it's game on.
The league's mental, isn't it?
Oh, it's frightening.
I don't have got stronger as the season's went on as well, aren't you? But the difficult thing I think I've seen in the last couple of weeks, the injuries are killing you. Really
Listen, it's
part of Saturday.
It's when you lose your 2 strikers and the top goal scorers who were thereabouts in the league, and with Dylan Mack and Big Boydie, it's a big blow. It's a massive blow. I mean, you're taking a couple of your big hitters financially as well, and a lot of people don't see, and they just think, oh, it's all right, you can go and bring something in. It's not like that. We can't just go and bring something in.
The boy Boylan, is he kicked on?
So we done really well to get Brian. Brian, the Kilwinning boy. So when we got him in, he actually done well against us.
He was excellent against us, to be fair.
But these,
I didn't even know you signed him.
So these are the guys that I turned to and listen. The club gave me the backing to go and make that deal happen. We've made it happen. And listen, we're having guys with the experience of Brian Boylan and Gavin Miller. We'd missed him a few weeks, which hurts us because Gavin brings so much to the team. Even when Gavin's no playing, you see how much you miss him. So listen, I've used about 4 or 5 of the under 20 boys, but I've had to go and call on, and they've done exceptionally well. So our squad's thin, but as I said to them last night, it's 5 games to go. It's about wrapping yourself up in cotton wool and making sure you just give everything and you don't leave anything out there. You
mentioned there about the under 20s players that you've used. Taking a chance on young players is something that you don't seem to have a problem in doing, Tiff. Young Mark McCluckie on loan for St Cadoc's, he seems to be an ever present in your starting 11. Is that something that you're an advocate for, giving young players a platform to go and play for a big club? Well,
I touched on it earlier on when we were speaking to Jamie there about a lot of stuff that you need. For me, it's just not about being the best technical player that you can get. It's about signing the right type of boys, the boys that want to be there, the boys that want to learn, the boys that want to develop. And I actually said to Mark the other day, Mark's played every single game for me since he signed. Every single game. He's the only player that's managed to play every single game. And listen, that speaks volumes from him. But I know Mark from my time at East Kilbride, I gave him his debut against Falkirk. I threw him in as a 16-year-old. And listen, I'm not scared to do it, but I'll do it at the right times. If I don't think he's ready, I've got a young boy who's played the last 4 for me. He was excellent on Saturday, Campbell McLean. 6 months ago, he wasn't ready for me to play. And I had people for the club and the board and the fans who go and watch U20, so he was doing really well. But he just wasn't physically ready to come and play in my first team. But he was training with me every week. So I could develop that. And now he's been back in and he's been a revelation. I mean, he's keeping the club captain who's been there for 16 years, Ben Lewis, out of team. So it says everything. I think that's how Benji's trying to kick him in training now. But these are the things that the wee man's learning.
I thought he was your best player on Saturday.
It was excellent.
I thought
he was excellent. And he brings real energy. As I say, you look at him, you're lucky if he's maybe 8 or 9 stone, but he's a dedicated boy. I go in, I'm first in every Tuesday, Thursday. I make sure I'm first in, and I go in there and the wee man's in at my back and he's in at the gym an hour before we get in because we've got that facility. So it's up to the guys to use that. But when it comes to the under 20s, as I say, I've used a few of them. Wee Nacy, wee Sam Duncan, I've got them, wee Josh Loudon. So listen, these guys they've stepped up to the plate when they've been called upon and they've never let us down.
Has that shown the importance of the West of Scotland Development League? You're obviously reaping rewards, as you would say.
Absolutely, and I think it's important for these guys to be in an environment where they play against men, and that's how I think a lot of people have got to realise when there's a kid 17, 18 that's maybe doing really well in the 20s. It's a big ask to ask him to go and turn up at Drumchapel or Johnstone Burgh and go and ask him to play against Graham Dorrans, Temple at Drum. It's a big ask to get starstruck. You can say what you want, but they do. So it's about playing them at the right times. And and having that. But there's no doubt about it. We've got the facility where we've got the kids for 9-10-year-old all the way through to 20s, and as they're getting there, they're getting into a team and they're holding their own.
The age doll saying as if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Well, that's what they say. And as I said, the only way you do that and you prove that is doing it on the park.
Right. I'm sitting here and I'm going to wish you the best of luck. Kinda. Obviously,
No, you're not.
Obviously, with the links with Drumchapel. But no, I wish you the best of luck and thanks very much for coming on.
No problem.
Hopey, it's your turn now.
I thought you were just a spectator then.
I know. I
Shadow and Paul.
I thought it would be better to leave him last.
Leave the best till last, bud. That's what they say.
Hopey, it's been nearly 2 seasons in the West of Scotland First Division. How hard of a division is it to get out of, mate?
Extremely. And I think you two will agree, this is definitely the toughest league in the last 2 years. Last season, I think we obviously had the journey in the Scottish Cup.
Yep.
We stayed in it the last 32, which I think was January. And at that time, we were in a great position. We were behind games, but we were top of the league. The 4 points or something, better goal difference than every day. And everybody's probably like, Drum will win the league. We get put out, went in a decent run. And then the next minute, you're in the quarters of the West, the quarters of the South, and you're going, what's happening? And then when you get to these stages of the cup, you can't just turn a blind eye to it. Like, you put us at the quarters of the West, but we went out to win that game. And then the next minute, with the fixture pile up, and it was just a disaster. Temps get injured against Aitken. People were getting suspended. There was more injuries, more games, and then the next minute, Benburb come out of nowhere. Benburb were nowhere. I don't
See, when Benburb went out the Scottish Cup, Benburb were sitting 13th in the league.
Third bottom or something like that. Third bottom, that's right, because I'm thinking St Cadoc's, Gartcairn, Drumchapel, that's the 3 teams that are going to get out the league. And then, boom, for nowhere, Benburb put probably the best run they've had since I've been involved in the West of Scotland.
Paul Lovin shooting up everybody's ass.
See, to be fair, we beat them 3-0 and 2-0, and they never really put a glove on us. And then just, wow.
They put gloves on everybody else.
They put gloves on everybody else and out of nowhere. And by the way, they deserved it.
Aye, they did.
They definitely deserved it. And people obviously saying the drum shat the bed and all that kind of stuff. I just don't believe that.
I was one of the guys that said that.
Were you?
I was another. I'm only kidding, I wasn't.
Right, lads, I'm away.
I was looking up the way.
Obviously been involved in St Cadoc's last season.
Obviously, look, it was just too much. It was.
It's a big ask.
Four cups were in last season. The Strathclyde, which we take serious, everybody knows that. The West, the South, and the Scottish Cup, the first time the club had been in it, in the league, to go and hang me, and it was just
asking guys at this level to go and play 3 games a week, and the bulk of your squad you're probably using maybe 12 or 13 players. It's a big ask. As I say, these guys are in the line in their bed during the day. These guys are at work, lifting carpets, lifting floors, doing whatever they're doing. So it's a tough ask.
As well, I believe last season, for the majority of it, it was 3 teams. It was a 3-horse race, and Benz have just went and done an incredible thing. This season, you can't predict what's going to happen. See, every single week, me and him talk about it. We talk about it, we speak a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see if Kilwinning were playing Nielsen, Drum were playing Wicklets, Borough playing Mabel. See if we come away defeated. I'm not surprised.
You genuinely wouldn't say it.
I'm not surprised.
Look how difficult
and the
it was
reason
at
I'm saying
Wicklets.
the 3 teams is because they're the 3 teams at the bottom, right? And like, we've played Wicklets twice, right? And they're a team I always praise, Wicklets.
Huge. Aye.
They're bottom of the league, right? I'm not going to talk about relegation because it's not settled, right? We've only beat them by a goal twice.
Yeah.
And by the way, we've been fighting, we've turned up well. It's not as if our boys are turning up with that attitude of, man, we're going to win this game. It's not been like that whatsoever. 3-2 and 1-0.
Yeah.
And they're bottom of the league.
I think that's the beauty of the league, though. Anybody can beat anybody in the day, and that's where I think it's really, really difficult. Like, you really don't know going into each game but you're not turning up expecting to win.
No.
You're hoping to win and be at your best. If you're at your best, that's my approach was this year. If we're at our best, we win.
That's what I say to my guys. If you turn up the best version of yourself on that day, then we should be fine. But anything under that, then you could be in trouble. And it's happened.
Of course it is.
It's happened to you, it's happened to me, it's happened, it's happened to you, it's happened. And it happens every week. So this league is definitely, probably, see, even when I played, this has probably been the hardest division I've ever been in. And as you said,
it's so hard.
I think mathematically there's more than 9 teams that can go up.
Yeah.
Aye, mathematically, definitely.
Aye, because we're at Thornleywood in the league.
9th.
9th.
9th or 10th.
9th or 10th.
Yeah.
Who's below them, man?
Can't mind.
We should have a league table up.
But
Do you know, do your research before you came?
come on, Ben.
No, game at a time, mate.
Get the league table up.
See the bottom 4? Mabel, Cambuslang, Nielsen and Whitlets. I think apart from them, mathematically everybody else can still go up. I genuinely, I think that's a fact. Like, I think the 30 points, everybody's on Johnstone Burgh on 30 points.
That's what I'm saying. If
Johnstone Burgh have got the games obviously in hand, but see that, I just don't believe that means anything. Like, I genuinely don't believe games in hand in this league means anything. I don't.
Especially when you're playing 3 a week.
It's an opportunity. That's all.
It's a chance, an
We're
opportunity.
sitting here 8 weeks before the league finishes, and in 8 weeks' time, we'll be congratulating Kilbirnie, Thornleywood, and St Rock's for going up to the Premier.
See the thing is,
By the way, Kilbirnie are in a great run.
They're in a very good run. They're one of the form teams.
No, see what he's just said, but
they've got an easy game in Saturday as well.
That could happen. That could happen.
It could happen.
You know what I mean? St Rock's are 6 games unbeaten. Thornleywood, I think, are 6 games unbeaten. I think we're 6 games unbeaten. I don't really know about them deals. The only reason it's because I know players that play with these teams and are putting things up in their story. 4 out of 4, here we go. And then you just obviously do the maths yourself after that. And I know St Rock's for a fact are 6 games unbeaten, 1-5 drew 1.
So St Rock's are the form team in the league. They are the form team in the league. They've conceded 1 goal, 1-5 drew 1.
There you go. And they mathematically can still go up. So, excuse me, see if you're a manager of any of these teams, you have to, the boys aren't stupid. They know that they've got a chance. So see if you believe in everything that you're doing, then every week it means something. It means something.
Yeah.
It's not as if you there's no reward for you. There's an opportunity or what, and that's how I think. Looking at the fixtures that everybody's got, it's crazy.
I think that's what you said last year, though. See with the Ben Bob situation. I think you mentioned the 3 teams. I think it was yourself, Kirkcairn and St Cadoc's that I thought were the best 3 football teams in the league. But I didn't see a team work harder than Ben Bob last year, and I think that got them up. And I think
as work hard for Paul Lawson.
I think honestly, like a lot of people have got different opinions on it, right? And it's about different styles of play
100%.
and different things. But see, at this level, it's about winning and it's about working hard, and that. You can say what you like about Ben Bob. They worked really, really hard last year, and they get themselves up through hard work.
Oh, absolutely.
They weren't the most technically gifted team in the league, but they worked. For me, they worked harder than everybody.
See, I only seen them twice last year, and it was against us. I didn't see them any other time than that, and I can only judge on what I see. And listen, I've got a lot of respect for the Lovren family. They've been very good to me, and I'm not being nasty or anything like that. But I just didn't see what happened.
You didn't foresee it coming.
I didn't see that coming in any way, shape or form, so I obviously congratulate them and I take my hat off to them for it, but I didn't think they were going to do what they done, so massive respect and well done.
Hopey, we spoke about we spoke personally about the successes of Drumchapel United in 22-23, but no getting promoted, no winning a trophy. How hard was that for you to then kickstart pre-season? Did you have to pick the boys back up? How was the camp like during the summer?
It's hard because see the buzz about everybody needs to remember, right? We're only in the door 2 seconds, right?
Yep.
Genuinely, Jamie's took the Borough for the bottom. The Borough's always been a junior team. Same with yourself, Kilwinning. We got into the Big Scottish Cup the hard way.
Yeah,
I think we had to play something like 8 games, 9 games maybe in total with the round robin to get into it. And the buzz about the place with the boys, the coaches, the community, everything was unbelievable. And that took the disappointment of everything away. See, because of what we achieved, first time in the competition, got to the last 32, let ourselves down. But I'm always going to stick up for the team. Always. To go up to Elgin the Friday night and stay the night to find out your game's off on the Saturday. And by the way, this is something I've never spoke about, right? But I'm just going to fire it right in there. So, last season, when the game, I got a wee heads up that the game was going to be cancelled, right? But see the forecast in Elgin, because of frost, right? See the forecast in Elgin, see for like 9 o'clock on the Friday night, right through to the next day, the temperature was to reach 4. Right, see for like 3 in the morning, and I think when we woke up the next day it was like 6.5. So we took the gamble as a club to go, because we thought it's easy for them to call it off if we don't travel. And we went, and we left the hotel on the Saturday morning, and what I think I might have told you is this: we're heading up Elgin Main Street, and there's council parks each side of the main road, and there's kids playing, right, on council pitches. Now, anybody that knows anything about football, the council aren't going to allow kids to play on a park that's deemed dangerous because of frost, because obviously slip, burst their head, cut their knees, blah, blah, blah. So we're all driving along to the pitch. It was only about a mile, and everybody's starting to get, like, they're ready. We get to the pitch, and you've probably seen the TikTok of me on the ice. There was 5 parts of the pitch that were an ice rink, but it was only not bigger than this table. Anyway, game get cancelled, frozen pitch. So anyway, on the Sunday, Jai B and Chizzy stayed up there with their families, and the park had thawed out. And they're like, by the way, this game's going to be on the Tuesday, because they'd put the game in for being the Tuesday, and we'd obviously had to agree to it, because you'll know for experience, the Scottish Cup games take priority no matter what the situation. Even like, that's how our game against Edinburgh City went ahead. Theoretically, probably should have been off, but the phone call was get that game on, and the 2 linesmen were happy to get it on. Old fashioned cup tie. The ref was a wee bit meh. But there was a sprinkler system at Elgin, right? And somebody within the club had checked Google Images in the summer at Elgin's pitch, right? I kid you not. You know it's coming, man. Every single part of the pitch where the sprinkler system was the parts that were frozen. Now, Big JC, John Conley, Aken, he's a goalkeeping coach at Aken. Aken had played Elgin the Saturday before, and the goalie for Elgin smashed Kane Hester, right? And it was a right badging, 50-50. And I know people that know Kane Hester, and he was struggling. Like, he wasn't going to be playing on the Saturday, and any chance of him playing, it had to be at least a couple of days extra. Yeah. So unfortunately for us, look, it's a fact. Elgin are not going to watch us anyway, right? And the guy,
I can see a bit of legal action for the story.
No, come on, man! It's like 100 miles away. The gaffer's not even there anymore. But
you do know I'm going to tag Elgin.
They got the game off. They because their pitch is
shower of shits.
Right, and so obviously then we had to go back up there on the Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Boys had to take a half day and all that kind of stuff. And basically what I'm getting at, we're in a hiding to nothing. After that, the boys went up with the right intentions. We got the early goal, but it just wasn't enough.
Good night out at the end of
it? No, the Friday night before was alright. But hang me, see every game in the Scottish Cup, we went into Hamilton and got access to the cinema room, and we'd done the video analysis on the teams that we're playing against. And the goal that we conceded that cost us a game was something that was on the big screen.
Was it?
Numerous times. Long ball, Kane Hester, bang goal. That was a frustrating thing.
I felt that feeling a lot recently.
Aye.
But the goals on Saturday, as we spoke about.
Obviously, ranting, going on about that kind of took the disappointment away from people with it. Because I was disappointed, but see the fans and the committee and stuff like that, they're like, you need to be proud of what you have achieved. So it was basically just reset, go again, and listen, I'm always going to speak highly of the boys. They're hungry. And they don't want to accept second best, and we've just went on as usual, and hopefully we can get out the league.
Back to league duty, Hopey. Level on points with Tiff's Kilwinning side, albeit 3 games in hand, putting Drumchapel in a very good position to go up this season. Some massive games in there, and some really difficult challenges ahead. What's your approach, mate?
Game by game, same as it has been.
Same as you say on a Saturday.
Aye. See, the thing is, it might sound pure
cliche.
Aye, but it's genuinely the truth. Like there's no lies. That's what it is, and I believe that the squad have got that mentality about them just now. They're fine. You had and you have had your injury problems. I'm fortunate enough that we've only had a couple of niggles and stuff like that. We've got a
touch wood.
Well done, Jamie. We're in a healthy place squad wise, and it'll just be the game by game mentality, hopefully.
Listen, guys, I want to say thank you very much for you to giving up your Wednesday night with your families for coming on. Jamie, wish you the very best, and I really hope we see you in a new job soon. Probably not the tail end of this season, but it'll be exciting to see as much as you're not at Johnstone Burgh now. It's actually really exciting to see where you maybe end up,
100%.
Before we go, I asked you to have a wee look at the league tables and give your opinion on champions. So because these two are in managing teams in the First Division, I'm not going to let them put a target on their back, right? So we'll go with Premier League Division 2, 3 and 4 winners, and you can give me...
No, go man, let's have it. Let's have it, man, let's see.
Jamie, your Premier Division champions this year?
Auchinleck
Talbot. Your First Division champions?
Johnstone Burgh.
Your Second Division?
Was that the one in Lanark?
Ardrossan.
I looked at it the day that Lanark one was the next one.
The Third Division?
Aye.
Lanark?
Yep.
And the Fourth Division?
And my brother's team.
I knew you were going to. Wasn't there in a very good position? And I mean, Tiff, Premier?
I think Clydebank might have enough. I hope Martin has a wee sniff. I think it's a couple of bad results, but he's done really well for his first season.
Aye.
So I'm going to go for Clydebank just to edge it.
I've got fingers crossed for Clydebank just because of the pyramid setup. It would be nice to see a team that can actually go up.
Absolutely.
You are Second Division champions.
Second Division. Ooh. Obviously, Ardrossan are going to win it. I think they're home and hose. I think they'll be fine.
Third Division?
Bellshill,
good shout.
And then I've got to go. I can't leave here with Jamie and ask him to go and buy me a coffee if he's not going to.
So we're going to go Glenville as well.
It's not a coffee, it's a pint.
Hopey.
Never top.
Premier League champions, I agree with Jamie. I think Auchinleck have galvanised themselves and they're a well-oiled machine.
Second Division?
First Division, Drumchapel.
Good lad.
Second Division, Ardrossan, all the way.
Third Division?
I'm going to say Vale Leaving because I had a spell at them, so they're going well. I'm going to say Vale Leaving.
Vale Leaving were 7th or something? I'm kidding, I'm not.
I know they're not.
They're a bit further up there.
Aye, they're second, I think.
And
maybe first.
Third they were. And
Fourth division, Glenville.
Got to be.
Final question. I put it up on my Twitter just before we came here. Summer football, for or against? And when I say summer football, I mean football played from April to November.
Four.
If I was still on a job, I'd be saying 4, but I like my holiday.
Guys, listen, thanks very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
And enjoy the rest of your night.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, guys.